Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I have Angela joining me. Hey, Angela.
Hi, Amanda.
Hey guys, we have an exciting video on how to shift in parallel realities. So we are going to talk about this, and Angela's going to share a success story that one of her clients sent in to her. So if you would like her help, link in the description. And guys, also remember, we do have a free course, how to find your blocks to manifest anything fast, completely free. Yeah, we're getting a lot of great success stories sent in by them. I'm probably going to do a video on one of them soon. So definitely check out. Link is in the description below. So let's dive in. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so actually this was my story that I was going to share. And so it's about a watch that I had lost several years ago. I had a little antique watch that I really loved. And so I got up one day, I put my watch on, and on that particular day, I was subbing in a school, very busy all over the school all day long. From there, I went to a storage facility. I had purchased some furniture. I was loading some furniture, bringing it home, unloading it. We'd gone for a walk at our nature center. I was all around doing all sorts of things. And that evening, when I got ready to take off my jewelry, I noticed my watch was gone. And I was really upset about losing this watch, one of my favorite watches, an old antique watch. And so I began to naturally, in the 3D, begin to retrace your steps and think of, everything that you could have done. The next day, I even made a phone call to the school, trying, to see if somebody had turned something in. And I'm thinking somebody could have picked it up, all sorts of things could have happened. But I kind of finally got a hold of myself and remembered that the watch is someplace. And I'm focused on the place where it is not. I am in the reality where there is no watch. I'm looking for the watch. I'm focusing on not having it. So I went within and just created this little scenario where I saw myself finding the watch, bending over, picking up and finding the watch. And I focused on that for several weeks. Anytime it came into my mind, you lost your watch. Where is it? Oh, wait a minute. I found that. I'm in that reality where the watch is there. I'm finding it and I have my watch. And I did that anytime this little thought came into my mind. Oh, I have the watch. I would see myself, literally my hand leaning down, picking up this watch. So after several weeks, I was in the garage one day cleaning up, sweeping, and I just barely see this little glimmer of something, in my pile of dirt there. I bent over, reached down with my hand, just as I had in my mind, and picked up my watch. Here it is, my watch. It was fine. It was working. There it was, my watch. So after focusing on the reality where the watch existed, where I had the watch, it came into my 3D. I shifted from that reality where it was lost, I didn't have it, to where it was, to where it existed. So I want to tell you, this works for anything. It does not matter if it's a specific person, if it's a career, if it's health. When you begin to focus on the reality where your desire exists, you will connect with it. And what you do is look at what you're seeing right now in this moment in your 3D. What's not working? So maybe you want to have that experience in that reality where your specific person is committed. They want you in a committed relationship. At the moment, if you see them, they're a player, they're not committing, that is just your feedback, reminding you this is what you're focusing on. That's the reality that you're focusing on. And you shift that. You internally begin to focus on that reality, because remember, if you can think about it, it exists. So you focus on that reality where your specific person is now showing up and they're committed. They want you. They want the relationship with you. They want everything that you want. You shift your focus to that reality. And it's just you're shifting focus, you're shifting states. And it happens instantly as you begin to, refocus what you're thinking on. The more you persist in it, that is what brings you in alignment with that experience. So, found my watch. I shifted to the reality where my watch was, right there in my garage.
Right, exactly. And guys, I said I was a client success story. So now I've shifted into the reality where someone out there is going to find their watch, because it was actually Angela's story. I will admit I'm extremely tired today, guys. Obviously it's showing, but you know, it's exactly right. To shift to a parallel reality is about shifting our focus. I often think about my thoughts as like a flashlight. If my thoughts are focused on something, it's shining a light on that. And for me to see something different, I just need to shift my thoughts to that possibility, and then boom, that possibility is going to be there. And you know, and it's really like shifting a reality. You've completely changed to a parallel reality. You know, I think, like, for instance, you know, I'm planning a wedding with Andrea. Everybody knows that. And I was in the reality that it was going to be difficult to plan with him, that he wanted all these things that I didn't want. And then I shifted into, no, you know what? It's my special day. He's going to want everything the way I want it. And he's going to want to do it exactly the way I want to do it. And everything that we were fighting and bickering about, that we disagreed on, all of a sudden dissolved away. And when it came time to actually sit down and plan, he was all of a sudden didn't want this big limo thing and this like bagpipes and all these other silly things that he did. And of course, it wasn't even like neat things. It was just like, he had to oppose me because that's the reality I was in. And then when I shifted into, you know, him agreeing with me and us having this like harmonious planning and, you know, this nice wedding, he all of a sudden agreed with everything I wanted. And I was sitting there at the table and I was like, what? I was like, but I shifted into that reality because I changed my focus into that. So there's constantly a bunch of realities happening in your reality right now. Right now, there's a bunch of possibilities. Your SP is with you, loving, thinking about you. Your SP is with somebody else. Your SP is doing nothing. Your SP is at work. Like, there's so many possible realities out there happening right now. And what you choose to believe and focus on is what your reality collapses into. So you create and you shift and you choose your reality with the thoughts that you choose. And that's why people say that it's already done. Every possibility is already out there. It's just a matter of which one you choose, which one you focus on to shift into, because there is multiple, like you can think about it, it's already done, or there's just multiple possibilities that are coded, waiting to collapse into your matrix, so to speak, right?
Yes, exactly. And I love that with the flashlight, you know, thinking about putting that light on it. And because that's what you're doing. Wherever you focus, you're putting the light on that. You're allowing that to expand. And a good reminder, because I do this to myself, you know, if you start to go down that negative rabbit hole, I will ask myself, do I want to experience this? Or do I want to continue to experience this? You know, and it's a good check to, wait a minute, no, to flip that.
Exactly. And you know what? We learned this because I am a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and a hypnotherapist, like certified for real, guys. I got some education in this, believe it or not. So like for reals. I've got like initials after my name for reals, but so does Jerry too. He's a certified teddy bear. But one thing that we learned in neuro-linguistic programming is that, you know, when you're focused on not finding something, you can't find it. So one example that I use is your cell phone. Have you ever lost your cell phone and you're like, oh, I can't find my cell phone. I've lost my cell phone. And you actually use your cell phone and the flashlight on your cell phone to look under the couch and stuff, and you're actually holding it. That's because you're focused on not being able to find it. And that your flashlight is on, I can't find my cell phone. And then your friend's like, it's in your hand. And you're like, oh, it is too. Like, your subconscious mind, if you want something to be lost, it'll block it out for you, even if you're holding it, because in that moment, you're focusing on not being able to find it. Things are always there. It's if you decide to look for them. There's also a story we learned in hypnotherapy, you know, about this guy. He was hypnotized to not see his daughter. And even though his daughter, he gave the subconscious mind the command to like make his daughter invisible to him. So even though his daughter was there with the therapist, the guy couldn't see her, and his mind replaced, you know, the daughter was in front of the therapist's arm, but then the guy's mind said, no, I just see your arm. And actually, you know, his brain replaced it. And, you know, so our subconscious minds are so incredibly powerful, and they follow your orders to a T. So if you want to lose your cell phone and you're holding it, your subconscious mind is not going to let you see it right in your hand. You're not even going to notice, and someone else will have to point it out, you know? And so when you can't find something, you know, you've got to start saying, I can find it. I'm going to find it, no problem. And not in a worried way, in a trusting way, going, I know my thoughts create. If I focus on finding it, it's going to turn up soon enough. And the next thing you know, somebody pulls it out of the junk drawer and you're like, oh, and you're like, where'd you find that? You know what I mean? Like whenever I'm looking for something, Andrew's got the strangest little gift. Okay. When I'm looking for something, I don't even tell him. All of a sudden, randomly, it shows up on the table. And I'm like, where'd this come from? He's like, oh, I found it in the junk drawer and I just put it on the table because I thought it would be handy. And I'm like, of course you did. Like, of course.
Yes. Yes. You know? Our minds are so very powerful, and you know it doesn't matter if your story is good or bad. You know, that's your job to think about the good story, to think about what you want. It is going to take a hold of that, whatever it deems as important, and importance is equal to focus. It's going to bring that to you. And it's so important to put that focus on what you do want. It seems sometimes like human nature, you want to lick your wound and focus on that, you know, sad story. But, you know, I've learned the hard way. You want to focus on that? Okay, here you go.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'll tell you right now, I never lose earring backings, earrings, pills. Anytime I drop anything, my first thought is I'm going to find it, and I'm going to find it right away. And I remember I was on this cruise ship with Andrew, and you know, the backing of an earring, so tiny, I actually lost it, and it fell between the desk and like the edge of the carpet. And you know how those things fall and they bounce anywhere. We were looking for it. And I was like, no, I'm going to find it. And I went, and as soon, boom, it just caught the light and shined a little bit. And I found it right in between that little crevice. And it was like, yeah, like, you know, I drop pills all the time, and I'm like, oh, where's that vitamin gone? Right. And I'm like, no, I'm going to find it. Sure enough, I'm like, here it is, you know? So yeah, you know, I think, it just focus on what you want, because your brain is going to do you a favor and only give that to you. So
yes, it's powerful, and it's happening. You're shifting sometimes second to second. I mean, it's happening always. The shifting is not a difficult thing. Focus and you're shifting.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, Jerry gonna call me? No, Jerry's mad at me. Jerry likes me. You just shifted. And then everything in the world is shifting back and forth. Like as quick as you're going back with Jerry likes me, he doesn't like me, he likes me. Jerry's like, do I like her? Do I not like her? Do I like her? Do I like her? No, I like her. No, I don't like her. Like, you know, everybody in your reality is going back and forth just as much as you are, right? So, you know, it's really interesting that, you know, but it's based in quantum physics, right? Yeah. So, and Andrew actually found a really good article, and I posted it on our community tab on Facebook, the article about how they did actually get scientific proof now that our thoughts do create. So it's a ways back there, but it is in our community tab on Facebook. You'd have to scroll through, but the article is there, and it's really interesting that, you know, well, it's not. I intended that they would find scientific proof, because I've always liked proof. I'm a very scientific person. So, you know.
It increases your faith, or it does for me. And probably for a lot of people, it kind of really grounds you, because it's not woo-woo. This is like real. It's legitimate. It's
exactly. And everybody knows I ain't a woo-woo person. Not at all. Anyways, thank you so much, Angela, guys. I hope you enjoyed her success story, not her clients, but somebody out there. Find your watch, comment on this video, because we need you guys. Someone out there needs to find a watch now. I'm in that parallel reality. It's happening. I'm going to have a nap. Oh, thank you so much, Angela. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I love it.
And guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Go ahead, find a watch, manifest something wonderful today, because you know what? You can be, do, and have anything you want. Anything is possible because you consciously create. So create some wonderful things, and definitely comment what those things are in our comment section. We'd love to hear them. And we'll see you in the next video.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.